as I'm getting this closer to done, I am starting to do some texturing on it now with the palette knife. Not solidly with the palette knife, just sort of here and there, just to add a little more here and there.
That's great. So you take up a whole bunch or just glaze through?
I just get some on it, which I may have.
Have you watered that down?
No, this is pretty much straight out of the, yeah, straight out of the tube. It's, you know, and I may put it on, take it off, different places, sort of, so I feel like it has as much texture as I want to give it a more interesting surface, but still be fairly true to the way it is. And I did move it down here too in that light color to give it kind of some highlighting here and there. And up here. And then I'll add some thickness here and there on him, like especially on his clothes, and maybe highlights on his face and stuff. Just so he isn't like flat and the rest of the texture. I want to make sure it's got some similar texture running through the whole thing.
Done a whole painting with a palette knife?
I've tried. Most of the time I haven't. It hasn't quite come out. I'm never happy with how it's come out. I've seen palette knife paintings that I like that are not that way. I haven't quite got it to work yet.
Don't you remember that one he did at the field in the snow?
But
Yeah, I did. I did do that one. And that came out kind of neat, although I wasn't totally happy with it. But it was,
do you put a base color down first and then put the palette knife, or can you go just build it up?
well, you could start from scratch. I mean, when
Trying
I,
to get back into it.
like in this case, yeah, I've got the base color,
Yeah.
so I'm sort of working over. And it's maybe a little easier because you're not trying to like cover everything with palette knife over like a white background or something. Now, if you had a tinted background to start, certainly that makes it easier to just start right in with the palette knife right from the beginning.
And is that the size you usually use?
I have a couple of different ones that I've used all
I've
sorts
seen
of
like
different
it
things.
looks like a fat.
Oh, they have everything from great
Flat
big to
knife.
rounded to real thin, and I have a set of them that I got them for
That
here.
one has like a point.
Yeah, I'm using the widest part of this right now, just to kind of add things here and there. This wide flat part, but it's got a
Yeah,
small
that's
flat part
cool.
if I wanted to use
Does
that.
that have a special day?
I don't know how they call them.
It must have.
This is model S61. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what that means.
I just bought a bunch of cheap ones from
Michael's.
Cheap Joe's, I guess.
These aren't expensive. This was a whole set, like 6 of them for $15 or something.
Yeah, and I think my set was $10 for like 4 or something.
So do you use it with?
I just
watercolor?
bought them. No, I just bought them.
So at this point, I'm pretty much finished with this painting, I think. And that's something that's always a question, when is a painting done? I could end up looking at it tomorrow and deciding to do some fairly major additions or changes. I might look at it tomorrow and decide it's finished. It's kind of hard to tell, but basically it's at a point now where I could consider it finished and may consider it finished, but I find you often have to kind of sit back and reflect and look at a painting a little bit before you know that it's where you want it to end up. Until then, you think it might be where you want it to, and you don't want to overshoot the mark and keep going non-stop if there's a question that you might be there, because you might just screw it up from there. So I've added a lot of texture, mostly with a palette knife in places. You can see it in a little bit closer. The overall look, and there's even some texture on all those background areas that I did with palette knife. Let me just move it centered so you can get a good look at it centered up. But I think it's got pretty much the feel that I want this painting to have, so. And of course I should put a signature on it, I suppose. Some artists don't sign their work on the front. I always do. I figure an artist's work ought to be recognized, even if somebody runs into it 100 years from now, when all other memory of who did it or where that person was is gone. So I always put a lot of information on the back about the piece, but I also always sign it on the front.